It's an illusion.
Yeah, I'm having troubles today.
It's Monday. I mean, like, it's already a Monday. I mean, the fact that it's a Monday and like everything's already thrown off, like,
I
it's
think,
like getting our groove. You're drinking pickle beer, all those
yeah,
things.
yeah, spicy pickle beer will
Throwing
just
it under
throw
the
anyone
bus.
off. Yeah. Yeah, well, that's the one thing that we can talk about here right away as we get started is that we are recording this like the day before we're going to actually put it out there. So
You're gonna have time to get all the high-tech editing done that you usually do for these episodes.
I know it's going to be terrible, but I'll find a way.
Just be like us, everybody, and just drink some more, and you can tolerate just about anything.
Yeah,
Even a
absolutely.
Monday.
Oh man, so many different things to talk about. Last couple weeks have been wild, haven't they?
Yeah.
Um, we've been doing a lot of travel, and on top of that, we got ahead of ourselves for recording because we knew we were going to have some issues, and we were planning on doing a episode where we were going to do an interview. I'll just say right out, the interview is not going to happen. It's not that it's not going to happen ever. It's just not going to happen right now, just because Amanda's having to deal with a few things right now. So we're going to give her space and allow her to do that. But we do look forward to hearing more about what she's doing, what she has to offer, and to learn more about board games and role-playing games and that
Yeah.
whole gaming environment. So
Especially heading into winter. I'm like, is it bad that it isn't even September technically? And I'm already just like, oh, I got to start thinking of winter activities to distract me from all the misery.
I time is such a weird thing right now. And
Illusion.
well, yeah, well, it generally is anyway, but outside of the fact that it's COVID pandemic, all that shit that we've been dealing with lately, um, it's still it I don't know why I can't really grasp when I have things coming up. So like this last weekend, and we're gonna probably jump around a lot, and who knows if we even get to any of our topics because I just I think we have a lot of different things to talk about. So this last weekend was the premiere for Valentine Crush. You guys did the Kickstarter backers premiere, and it went off wonderfully, I'll say.
Despite Mother Nature's efforts, we did it.
Oh, you know what? Mother Nature had a part to that really added to it too.
Oh yeah, when the thunder was like shaking the theater during the movie, yes. I'm like, man, you can't even buy this kind of special effects.
so that was the one part when the killer kind of gets found out and he does his snap. There was all of a sudden this big boom and thunder going on. I was just like, I don't know if that was real or if that was planned, but holy shit, that absolutely added to tension to that part.
Yeah.
I think that's something that you're gonna have to add into it now.
Oh yeah, I gotta find a way to make everyone's seat like weirdly vibrate during the movie. Oh, this is creepy.
Right. It's like, what the hell? It's 4D. But so we had that this weekend. I should say we, as in you mostly had that. Yeah, I was a part of it, but what I was going towards is that as a part of it, I completely lost track of what was going on. I was just like, oh shit, that's today. I mean, that's tonight. That's, I just didn't have any grasp or concept of urgency that, oh, this thing is coming up and you need to be prepared for it and you need to do something during it and everything. I mean, I feel that I was ready for it. I think it went off really well, but at the same sense, leading up to it, I was just like, I just had no sense of urgency, and that was just weird.
Also, like the whole day, I'm like, oh, everything's cool. It's cool. Like, get to the theater, and so the doors are gonna open at 6:30. So I was like, well, I'll be here at 6 to greet people, whatever. So I show up at 2 for setup, and that's when Jamie's like, well, we don't have the movie yet. I'm like, what do you mean we don't have the movie yet?
Oh God.
Like, oh, they're still sending it to us. Yeah, we got like the movie at like 4:00.
Wow.
Like, it all worked out fine. But yeah. I'm also kind of like, oh shit, it's September on Wednesday.
Yeah.
When did that happen? For some reason, and like Labor Day, like all this stuff. Yeah, the same thing where like time means nothing to me. I'm literally just living like 1 week at a time. And I've got a shitload of travel coming up for work. So I'm like, oh, it's going to get real messy in the next 2 months when I've got to be leaving town for a week at a time. And I suppose I probably should start lining up a babysitter for my child.
Right. Well, it's that type of stuff. It's just like it just doesn't, I don't know why it just doesn't register right now.
Right.
So like I have travel set up in the mid-September, and I've been doing a lot to be able to get around that or to talk to people about it and everything, just because I've had a few people that said, hey, things are kind of shitty right now in our area due to COVID, so we don't want you here. And so it kind of left me at a place like, oh, okay, well, I should talk to everyone else, and talking to people about it. So I'm getting everything lined up. I feel comfortable that I'm ready to go for that. And then just the other day, I was just reminded, hey, the weekend before you go, you have a colonoscopy. I mean, it's just,
you know how to party, cowboy.
I know, it's great. But the unfortunate part, and the colonoscopy is fine. I have no problems with having a colonoscopy. I've had that before. I know what to expect. People.
It's good for you. Colon health is important. I'm not trying to like shame anyone about getting a colonoscopy, but that's
right. No, absolutely. I'm not taking that.
We've reached the age where you got to schedule that in, you know.
Yes.
Gotta get the camera in the butt. So
well, that's the thing, is that I got to trim, I got to maintain. No, I don't go that far, but still, just the prep work that has to be done prior to the colonoscopy. I just like, I just
love the idea of doing a little manscaping before you get a colonoscopy. Professional courtesy.
Funny thing is that I have been warned about manscaping that area in the past by a guy that was just got drunk one night.
Just be natural. That's
he got drunk one night. He decided to shave his asshole, and then
wow, bold choice.
So he said, you know what? It was fine when it happened, but the worst part was when the hair grew back. It was itchy.
Yeah, you get like an ingrown. I'm just thinking like the logistics of shaving your asshole. Like, I don't know about you, but like that can't be easy.
I didn't get into that detail.
Close to your anus? Like,
I have a feeling that he had very forgiving roommates at the time.
Maybe he had a very, maybe the significant other was, maybe this is a bonding thing for them. I don't know.
Well, he was a bachelor at the time. So
Craigslist. Looking for mutual asshole shaving party? ? Serious inquiries only. And send.
I don't know. In my younger days, I might have looked at that and said, maybe I need to meet some new people.
You know what? I've been telling myself I need to get out and meet new people. Time to go shave a stranger's asshole.
What better way?
My new screenplay.
Through their holiest of holes.
Ever.
All right. So
back on track. I mean,
so much to unwrap there. I know.
For the audience, this is not water. This is vodka and seltzer, so it explains a lot.
Yes, this is
hitting that agua hard monster tonight. Still
what's
Monday.
That?
Said hitting that agua hard.
It's Monday hard. So we'll go back to that. The screening. We talked about the film on the podcast. We hyped it up. We did, promoted the Kickstarter, interviewed Jamie. So I figure it's only natural to be able to talk about that.
Back.
Yeah, absolutely. So the screening went without a hitch, I think. I don't know, other than not getting the film until 2 hours before it started, or 4 hours. Jamie did show a couple of the short films that he talked about on the podcast. When I saw Fatma Makana, no, what was it? I can't remember.
I was like setting stuff up, so I totally missed the shorts, which I felt kind of bad for because Jamie.
Oh, good, you didn't have to watch them.
I'm like,
no,
I got in there just in time to see like the last 2 minutes. I was like, oh well, clap, clap, clap. I guess.
Fata Morgana, I think, is the what was it? It was the name of it.
And Dusty said it was very David Lynchian.
Yes. Well, and he he also kind of told us that was, or Jamie told us on our podcast that was the first film that him and
him and Jeremy worked on.
Jeremy did together. Yeah. So it was great to be able to see that. But they showed the 48-hour film fest that they did, which was it was hilarious. It was exactly what a 48-hour film fest movie is.
Yep. Just slapped together and fun.
Yeah.
Kind of on like bordering improv, that kind of level.
Right. Oh, well, yeah, kind of. I mean,
a little more thought out. It's still film.
Yeah, it's a film. So film. And then he had another one that was, didn't have anything that was I don't know, the
road trip one that Jeremy had.
No, that was the road trip one, I think, was close to Fatima Morgana.
Okay.
But they did three. They did the 48-hour, the Fatima Morgana, and then the one that was the something of desire, the insistence of desire, something like that. And it was that one, I think, might have been the David Lynchian one, because that was the one where a guy comes and sees a girl and starts following the girl, and the girl gets on. What's that?
The one with the whipping in it?
Nope, that was Fatima Morgana.
Okay.
That was Fatima Morgana. That was the last one. Yep. But no, this one he followed this girl. Girl got on the train, and then all of a sudden he just took the shortcut and magically appeared the same place as she was, and went to a park and had a flower in her hand and disappeared, and he walked off, and the end. It was a student film. So that one seemed very Lynchian, because there was no words to it. It was all music that was ended up being dubbed over by someone that watched it and said, "Oh, I need to do this," and it was a guy that was in a band and produced music and everything. So very interesting short films, I'd have to say. Donna was like, oh my goodness, if
I was gonna say, I could probably just like feel the awkwardness from Donna.
Yes, she was just like, if the feature is like this, I don't know if I can watch it. She is what she said. I was just like, well, I've seen my share.
Hopefully she liked it better than the shorts.
Yes, she did much better. So yeah. So tell me, or talk to us. I'm kind of giving my, play by play of everything that's happened, but how was it for you? How was the show? How was the beforehand and afterhand and everything else that
It was really awesome to be in the audience and get to hear like audience candid reactions. Like, I loved when people were cheering and hooting at scenes. I love the like really cathartic scene when she at the end, like hearing everyone cheering and whooping it up at that point where you're just like, yes, like that's really fun. It's cool to have those moments really hit.
Yeah, absolutely.
And like I said, I was kind of nervous about the music because there was a lot of music in the movie, and I think it really worked well. Especially some of them just like really increased the tension for some of the scenes, and just there's some scenes that are just gorgeously shot. Our cinematographer did a great job, and something that wasn't really intended with the script, but the way it kind of came off, I think it worked really well. So about halfway through the movie, when they're driving into the night, like it almost feels like this is gonna be a rom-com, right?
Yeah,
you're like,
absolutely.
Oh, this nice guy, this poor girl, and then I love the audience's reaction when it changes, and now it's no longer what you think it is. And like, I thought that worked really well between the music cues and just the lighting and stuff. So I was really pleased with the overall tone, because it's kind of somebody's like, it's like Whip It meets Misery.
Sure. Yeah, I can hear that.
The tone's a little weird because you get into it and you think you're going to watch this hard-hitting action roller derby movie, and then it turns into something completely different. So I was really pleased with it. Yeah,
and you definitely had different styles of cinematography too. I mean, during the actual roller derby scenes, there was a lot of right in the middle of the pack that was there, that was really unique. And
I love
then
the warm-up scene when our cinematographer was a rollerblader, so he actually skated, he actually did the pace line with us, and he skated through a lot of those scenes with his camera to make sure it felt like you were in the pack for a lot of those shots. So I think that turned out cool.
I think it turned out really great. It was definitely from a perspective that a regular roller derby fan doesn't get to really experience that. So
yeah,
I
and it still just seems so insane to me that we shot this in 8 days in the middle of a pandemic. I mean, this was like the biggest gamble I've ever had in my life, because as I'm watching these derby scenes, we couldn't have the crowds in there for more than 2 hours at a time, because we decided that was kind of the max we could have, because for the shots, no one could be wearing masks. And you ask people to socially distance before the shoot and not come if they're sick, but you don't know.
Right.
With COVID, especially a year ago, there was even less that we knew. No one was vaccinated. Right. No, and let's face it, we had our 2 leads, and we had the whole rest of our shooting, because we did the derby scenes pretty early on. And I was like, if any of our leads or our cameraman or our boom operator, because we had a skeleton group, like anybody gets sick, this whole film is shot, the whole thing, because we'll have to quarantine. We will not get these locations again. So, the whole time we were just like praying that no one got sick. And it's a miracle that no one did, like, really.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it was great. So you guys did the there was a ton of people that was there. And one of the things that I loved is that, and I'm sure this is typical from a lot of different premieres, is that everyone was just conjured out in the lobby chatting with each other. A lot of people knew a lot of different other people. And one of the things that I thought it was funny is that I went and talked to Dustin, a guy that works at Johnstone that that took my job anyway. And he's like, oh geez, I knew Weedy way before I knew Leah. So
it's such a small world, right?
Absolutely. So it was great to be able to do that and be able to kind of meet the other Brett in passing. I didn't fight him, even though,
come on.
I know Laura wanted me to. But so what is going on here?
It's been trapped in your computer. Oh no, I'm waiting for another Brett to just materialize behind you, and now you've invoked it like there's some sort of Brett off.
I don't know. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Your computer haunted.
My A is Alexa is haunted, I guess. It just all of a sudden decided to speak to me, and now she won't stop listening to me. Cancel.
Bitch.
Sorry, I didn't understand that.
I did not understand you.
Yeah. So it was good to be able to see all these different people and all these different these people that have for the most part either were family members or they gave to the Kickstarter or was a part of the movie. And that's pretty much that was all that was there, right?
Yeah, there was a few people that reached out to us via Facebook and other social media that just said, hey, I heard about this, can we get tickets? So but majority of people were Kickstarter backers or friends, family, coworkers. It was weird to come into work today and have coworkers be like, oh, I liked your movie. I'm like, thanks, I'm just excited people came.
yeah no, it was really good. It was funny to me afterwards. I had some people come up to me, and so I did the Q&A after the film, and I came up there and I plugged the show. I felt bad about doing it, but at the same time, it's just like, you know what?
I'm a fucking celebrity, okay? It's why I'm on the stage. So this is the podcast, bitches.
So
why you guys are all here, right?
My thought process was that we were doing a lot of things hand in hand, and although I don't think the show brought in a lot of extra people to the movie, or
literally
vice versa. Right, but still, I thought I'd mention and everything. And I had 2 people afterwards that asked me, it's like, oh, what's your podcast? What do you do it on? We're thinking about starting our own, and we're curious on what other people are doing in the area. And so it was great to be able to have that. And then I had one guy that came up, and he was the last person that asked a question at the Q&A.
Okay.
he's a writer for the Sioux City Journal, for the film department, or the movies and film. Yeah. And so he came running towards me because I was on my way out. We had to
Oh yeah, you had to go get the kids and
get the kids.
home.
Yeah. And so we were on our way, and there, I just all of a sudden hear ER. I'm just like, okay. And so I turn around and he goes, "Hey, I just wanted to introduce myself really quick. I do the current events or film reviews for Sioux City, and I also listen to your guys' podcast." And at that point, I said,
"Are
I
you
don't
well,
know
sir? Are you okay?"
I said, "I don't know whether to thank you or whether to apologize."
Both.
He said, "No, I really do enjoy it. I think you guys have a great thing there." So I don't know. He
Well,
might have been
thank
nice,
you,
or else
random
he's
stranger.
listening now. But
We did also have a really good question too. So there's that.
yeah. Oh yeah. I told him, I said, thanks again for that question, for, seeing what people are up to, what they're planning on doing. It was a great way to really end that Q&A,
Yeah.
and it was able to get everyone involved that was up on there, because we had some actors, we had some well, I mean, obviously you, the director, and then we had like the I don't know, what was it, the cinematographer, the video.
Yeah, we had I guess the assistant director up there.
Yeah.
And then
Okay.
a production assistant, and then like our 3 leads basically. So
Yeah. Right. So I wasn't sure who to ask or what to ask.
I don't think a lot of people know what to ask, like somebody technical, like, "Oh, so you operated a camera. Does it go
Right.
like this?" Or
Yeah, exactly.
like, I mean, there's lots of questions, but yeah, to a novice person, they probably had mostly questions for the actors and stuff. So
Right. And
it
that's
was
ended
good to
up
have a question for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. So I couldn't think of one, so I'm glad that he did. But yeah, it was definitely something that was great to be able to go through. And yeah, I had a friend of mine, I was in the mood of just following up with people the day after, so I sent out a bunch of texts, and people I haven't chatted with for a while, and a friend of mine who's told me in the past that she's listened. She said that she's still listening. She still likes listening to the show. And so I was like, oh, bless your heart,
Yeah. Well, we can hope we make the hurting in the world a little less.
Yeah, exactly. So let's see what else. There was something else I was going to talk about, but anyway, what do you want to talk about?
So, well, I have been very busy this last week. I went up to Minnesota, North Dakota, to visit customers. And I stumbled across the newest, greatest favorite pizza in the world, which I knew would be right up your alley, which is peanut butter pizza. And I actually made some the other day at home just to make sure it wasn't a fluke. It's still good. So
Really?
It's basically pizza, but instead of marinara sauce, you do a layer of peanut butter, cheese, pepperoni, jalapenos. OMG, it is so good.
It sounds amazing.
It sounds like a garbage can.
Yeah.
It's so good. I don't know. We really ordered it on a lark. Like Doug's just like, "Oh, we should try this." So we got the smallest pizza, and Doug and Shannon tried it, and they're like, "Nah, it's okay." And I just ate the whole rest of the thing. It was so good.
Yeah,
I mean, it's true.
Like
peanut butter does make just about everything better. And now I don't know, may not go back to regular marinara sauce.
Right. Well, it was funny. So I saw that picture and I showed that to Donna, and the first thing she said is that we have a friend that he would buy a Totino's pizza and cook it up, and he would take it and just take a couple of scoops of peanut butter and put it on one side, fold it up. Yep. And that's how he would
eat
his
Totino taco, huh?
Pepperoni pizza as a Totino pepperoni and peanut butter taco.
There really is only a very finite part of your life when you can eat Totino's pizza, isn't there? Yeah. I feel like there's a gap between like high school and just about done with college when you can still eat that. Like you tried to eat one recently. Like I'm not sophisticated, but I'm definitely like slightly above a Totino's pizza. I can still eat Tombstone and Little Caesars. That's the bottom for me.
Yeah. No, so this was right after school. This was right after school. We I had 3 guys living in a 2-bedroom apartment in Minneapolis, or just outside of
Totino's
Minneapolis.
territory right there.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was definitely the perfect territory. We had more beer in that house than we had food most of the time.
Well, that's why you got to buy the Totino's, because you need to spend money on beer.
Right. Right. And Totino's, it doesn't matter what it tastes like when you're liquored up. So
you just need a base. Just need a base. That's it.
Yeah, exactly.
Carbs and grease are perfect. Who cares what tastes like garbage? You're drinking garbage beer, you're eating garbage pizza.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's where that came from. But yeah, that's what we mentioned the peanut butter and that being up my alley. For those you don't know, I put peanut butter on my hamburgers. I love peanut butter on hamburgers. That's a good one. And yeah, peanut butter, a soft boiled egg, and and some bacon. It's good.
Yes.
Yes, exactly. So
yeah, it's like every stir fry I make, I always throw a scoop of peanut butter on there. Always makes it better.
Oh yeah. So that's what we do for our stir fry, is that we actually make I guess it's a peanut saute. We take a bunch of peanut butter, we put in some teriyaki sauce, we put in some whatchamacallit, just soy sauce. I think there's one other one that we put in there. We just mix it all together, and then we put in whatever the meats we're having. It's usually a steak. We get just the cut steak.
Yeah, little steak strips or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. And we just cut those in, put them in, and just stir it up, and just let it sit for a little bit. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then we saute it with our vegetables and put it over
healthy,
some rice.
Protein.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really the only way that vegetables get consumed in our house, if it's as a part of that stir fry.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think if there's anything like peanut butter is pretty good and everything. I know my stepdad loves he makes BLTs, but instead of mayonnaise he puts peanut butter on it.
Ooh, that'd be good.
I was just like, I haven't tried it yet. It just seems like I feel like the tomatoes might fight with it, but Mel swears by it, so it's probably onto something.
There's a bagel that's at the Bagel Boy that's called the Karen Special, that it's got peanut butter, pickles, and what's the other thing that's on it? Bacon, I think.
Yeah, I've never had it before, but I've always been intrigued. But I mean, it sounds pretty darn good.
It's actually really good. So the pickles and the peanut butter, those are two things that no one thinks that really goes together really well, but
salty and sweet, baby.
That's exactly what it is. It's that vinegar of the pickles with the sweetness of the peanut butter. Yeah, no, it's good stuff.
And just getting me hungry.
I know. I was just thinking about that too. And I just had some pepperoni pizza too. Oh. Which was funny because so we made a pizza the other day, so it was leftovers. Donna decided to make it with pepperoni, hamburger, and bacon on it. Yeah, nice carnivore type of pizza.
Meat lovers.
Yep, she makes her own pizza dough. So nice. It's a homemade pizza. It's really good. But the thing is that the bacon, she told me to grab a bacon from the freezer, and I did, and we thawed it out. She cooked it up, and she didn't realize it was, and I didn't realize it was maple.
Oh, maple bacon.
Bacon.
Yum. So it's a little sweeter than you wanted, or
it was pretty interesting. Yeah, it was pretty. It was
too much.
Sweet. It wasn't so much. It was that too much. It was. So when I came up, I was just like, "We're having pizza tonight, right?" And Donna's like, "Why?" It's like, it smells like pancakes right now, like syrup.
Oh, because the maple syrup.
Pancakes, because of the maple syrup. Yeah. And she's like, "Yeah, we I didn't realize that was maple bacon, but we already cooked it up and we put it on there." I've done that with
sausage before. I bought the maple sausage instead of just like the hottest Italian sausage, but I still was like, "Well, I'll cook it up." Bad mistake.
Yeah,
it really is only good for breakfast.
It changes it.
Not going to be good really in the stuffed pepper.
Yeah. So good enough. It was that
I ate it. Obviously, you ate it.
I ate it. Yeah.
Yeah. Funny experience.
There's enough hamburger on it to kind of help.
It all balances out
a little bit. So.
Throw some peanut butter on it.
Yeah, there you go. I didn't do that. I should have. All right. So I was going to talk about, I was actually trying to get into to looking out at some stuff and figuring out what I wanted to talk about, and it ended up being kind of all sports related.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
Like fantasy football or just
no,
sports?
no. So sports. Yeah. So
Tell
the
me more
first
about
thing,
this sport.
this sporting events that I was thinking about. There's a couple of sporting events. One of them is a fictionalized one that I wish that I'd be able to do on a more recent basis. And another one is something that is pretty current right now. But the fictionalized one, anyway, is I really wish that we could find a way to get a basketball team going.
I like this.
So I actually have found this in the past, and I found it for, I think it was I remember having issues with my computer browser last time I brought this up. So I think it's probably that browser, that website that does it. But the University of Iowa actually had, as a part of their intramural team or intramural sports,
They had a basketball team?
They had a basketball team. Yeah. So they have all the different things that are listed on, they have a map of what it is. It's a half court basketball, because it's basketball and baseball kind of put into one. So they have the different spots where you can shoot from. It has the rules in it. Because it's a college, they did have the psych outs in it. However, the psych outs weren't nearly as elaborate or allowed to be as elaborate as they are in the movie.
Okay.
So like no props are involved or something like that. They even said you can't, when you do the psych outs, you can't say any words. All you can do is just do
Bases and gestures?
sounds and bases and stuff like that. Yeah. So
That's
I was
kinda
like,
sad.
I don't know about that. That's a little bit on the weak
I was at
side.
least hoping
but
to be like, your mom's sleeping with Squeak.
yeah, exactly. Which is something that I wanted to say when whatchamacallit, when Jamie was talking about Dean Backer being Dean Bashar, there you go,
Mhm.
being possibly on the show or on the movie, which he talked about on the podcast too. But I always wanted to get into that and try to get something going. The only thing is that I just never could find enough people. I mean, you really got to have a good group of people. I think they said that was 6 people per team that would be able to create a team and they have a league made out of it. So that's one of the things that I was really interested in. I was like, I could really get into playing basketball because I'm too big and fat anymore. I can't run up and down a court. But I've over the years I've become good at shooting hoops, from various lengths. As long as I don't have to run around, that's all that
Right?
matters. So that I was just like, basketball would be so perfect. It'd just be a great opportunity to be able to get a beer league, a basketball beer league going at the local Y or something like that.
I like this idea.
Yeah.
You should make this happen.
I would like to. I just I have to figure out what could be done or how we could actually do it. I don't know. My son's going to a brand new middle school, and they seem to have more gyms than they know what to do with. So maybe I'll just give them a call.
Kids don't need to learn things. They just need to get sports scholarships.
Right.
So
yeah,
go to college
absolutely.
and play sports and then get a degree for something you're underprepared for. But
for something that you were forced into because you had to do something while you were there.
I guess I'm going to major in sports medicine.
Yeah.
I don't know. I am doing fantasy football this year.
Are you
I got roped in by some friends on Twitter that we wanted to make a screenwriters fantasy football. So I already warned them that I don't follow sports. I'm really terrible.
That's hilarious.
But I'm like, I have no problem talking smack and screwing things up for everybody else. Like, sounds fun, join. So sorry, fuckers, you're in for a fun, real treat this year. You know, it's good when your first post is like fantasy football. Can I be a unicorn? How many kickers can I have? All the kickers you want.
All the
Sweet.
kickers.
Yeah.
How do you have a mascot on your team?
Well, of course, the first thing I figured out how was to put my icon. You know, I was like, oh, so I found a cat wearing a football uniform. So it's like Leah's meow meow team. They're like,
Nice.
well, until you came here to fight.
You need to try to find football players that has some version of the word cat in their name.
Oh, this is like I was gonna try to find like one year I was gonna try to draft. Everybody had like an apostrophe somewhere in their first or last name. Like this. And then I told like David Drew I was gonna go based on butts. I was like, yeah, I've been just looking at lots of pictures of football players' butts. I feel like that's a pretty good determination. It's a
lot of tight ends.
Still.
Tight ends.
Yeah, look for those tight ends. So we'll see how the fantasy football league goes. I'm sure like halfway through I'll lose interest and stop setting my team and just go to all auto stuff. But you know, it's fun. There's a bunch of people I have never obviously never met in real life, but we've only interacted with on Twitter. So I think Wednesday we're going to do a Zoom call and do a draft. So it'll be kind of fun to actually meet people and
oh man,
and they can be like, oh, this isn't an act. This is really the way you are. Yeah.
How many people are you going to have in the team or for the league?
I don't know. They started a second team because our league filled up. So I don't know how many people they have, but
oh, that's funny.
Anthony's running it. So he's in charge, but yeah.
Oh, good.
That's my favorite comment for people who have only met like digitally. And then we meet on like a Zoom call. Like, oh, so this is really how you are. This is really you all the time. Like, yeah.
Why wouldn't it be?
I don't know. There's probably more professional people out there.
Yeah.
It's not us.
I don't know.
What you get.
Yeah. I told you about when I went out to the Boston area. They told me it's like, you know, Brett, he's from the corporate office, but he's not a corporate douche. So yeah, that's I'm the non-corporate douche, but
put it on the business card.
Right. That's exactly what it should do.
Run that patch to HR, see how that goes.
I got to get some new ones made anyway. I'm going to have to run that by my new manager.
Yeah. It's a good test the waters kind of thing.
Right. Oh, man. So many ideas now.
All we can do is get in trouble.
All right. So the other thing in regards to sports that I've been getting into, which, you know, it's kind of goes along with the Olympics that had going on and kind of getting involved with watching that and getting exposed to some sports that you haven't seen or is more internationally known and everything. And we've been watching the Paralympics a lot.
Oh, yeah.
That's going on right now. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
So it really kind of goes deeper than just, you know, watching it for the fun of it, because we do have Donna has a nephew that is in wheelchair basketball, and
cool.
he helped coach a person that is on the Olympic team or the Paralympic team.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so we've been able to watch it and be able to see this guy that he's coached, and you know he's been doing really, really well for the team right now. So it's been fun to be able to watch that, and I've always been enamored with watching wheelchair basketball anyway, because I grew up playing basketball and being really, really a big fan of the sport for many, many years until I just got turned off by it. So I used to watch when he was the nephew was in college, and he was a part of it, and it was always great being able to see and see how they can do everything, you know, play basketball from a sitting position. I mean, it's just so weird.
It's still like, you know, you're dribbling, you've got ball, it's so much coordination.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's great to be able to watch that, and then obviously getting involved with and watching the Paralympics, and especially on the basketball side, we started watching a lot of the wheelchair rugby, which also used to be known as murder ball. But they found out that it wasn't marketable, so they stopped calling it murder ball.
Sounds wild to me. Like, yeah, I want to watch murder ball, but
I was gonna say, I think that's more marketable.
Oh yeah, sign me up. Do I need to bring a tarp for all the blood? Like,
right. Maybe that's why roller derby hasn't been a Olympic sport instead
we
of,
should really start
this.
giving people like Gallagher, sheets towards the suicide seats. It's like,
Yeah.
this is for all the blood.
Absolutely. So we've been watching that, and there's one game that is on during the Paralympics that I've never heard of, and it's because it is a sport that it was created just for the blind and vision impaired, and it's called Goalball. And what it is that it's three people on a side, and the goal basically runs the whole thing of I don't think it's a basketball court. I think it's a little bit smaller than that.
Okay.
But anyway, the one person has a ball that has a bell inside of it, so you can hear it. You can hear where it's coming from and everything. And it's their purpose is to take the ball from one end and to throw it into the other end of the court, into the goal. Well, these are all blind people. Even if someone has some kind of impairment, they need to be blindfolded in order to play the sport. Yeah. So it is completely, your vision is completely taken out of it. And so it is just, I'm going to sound insensitive, but it's hilarious. Watching.
I can only imagine just how hard this would be, especially for someone who isn't trained. Like, you're running into shit. And
so this ball is like 2.5 pounds. So it's not a really light ball.
Right.
And it can be thrown up to what I see. They said like 35 miles an hour. I mean, they whip this ball across.
This ball.
Yeah. And it's crazy because of the time that it takes. It's like I said, it's a smaller court. It's probably, I'd say it's about 3/4 of the size of a basketball court. If you took it down, you shrunk it down ratio wise, 3/4 the size. That's about what the goalball court seems to be. So someone's coming in and they do an underhanded, like a softball pitch throw of this ball, and it comes whipping across. And the moment that it comes across and the bell, you can hear the bell ringing. The other side, they just all flop on the side. Because the goal that you don't know going into is no higher than 3 feet tall. I think it is. It's low to the ground. So it has to be rolled. It can't be thrown. So everyone's just hearing where they think it is, and they just flopping on one side or the other. It is incredible to watch, just because to know that they're all blindfolded,
right?
Or if they're completely blind themselves, and they're going through with this. There was some other sports that they had that I didn't realize. So they had a vision impaired swimming, and for those that are vision impaired, they can do the swimming just like regular Olympic swimming. So they can be completely able-bodied. It's just that they're vision impaired.
So it levels the playing field, basically.
Yep. And including on top of that, same thing, they are required to wear blackout goggles, so that everyone is on the same field. So it doesn't matter on what variation you are, you have to have some kind of blackout goggles. Okay. There was one person that actually had the swim cap tucked below her eyes.
Interesting.
So it came out only right above her nose. But the swim cap was over her eyes instead of wearing goggles. And it's just weird. I wouldn't say weird, not in a weird way, in a bad way, but weird, interesting. Watching this, because when they're in there, then they have to have certain things. So they have this long stick that essentially comes out and pokes them, or just gives them a little
nudge, kind of
on the back, a nudge. On their back when they're swimming, so that they know that they're coming to the wall. So either they have to brace for it because they're at the end of the race, or they need to do their turn, as they do when they're swimming. And then you see these people, they're hugging the lines because they don't know where they're going, but yeah, they kind of have to reach while they're swimming at the same time.
Weird.
It's amazing watching it, but
It's
yeah,
cool.
it's it was really cool. And then talking about, vision impaired and everything, we were also watching, they had a vision impaired triathlon. So, and when they do a triathlon, because they're all visually impaired, they have to have a guide that
I was gonna
does
say,
it
do you have someone that kind of goes run with you through the course?
the entire course.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
Like a
so
buddy
yeah,
system.
so it's the swimming, it's the biking, and the
Mhm.
biking is a tandem bicycle, and it's the running as well. And what they do for the running is that some of them had leashes, I guess you could say it, that was
Mhm.
attached or some way to tether
Yeah,
their
something so you've
arms.
got like a communication connection kind of.
Yep.
That
And then
tactile
they also
connection.
had other ones that was the tether was actually on their waist. So it was an easier way to be able to say, no,
Yeah.
you're going the
It
wrong
doesn't
way,
restrict
come
your
over
movement,
this
but
way.
you can still inform where you need to go.
Right. They were talking about how
Interesting.
these guides that they have, that they're selected to be able to help them, they have to not only be able to do everything that this athlete's doing, this Paralympic athlete, but they said that it's probably about 110% of what they typically do to be able to have the stamina
Oh
to be
yeah.
able to do this. Just because they have to get through it, and they have to be aware. I mean, they have more things going on than just being able to stay upright, in most cases.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the really cool part about the Olympics is, the Olympics is great because it really shows you like, what happens when we really push themselves. But like the Paralympics show you like that there's no bounds to what humans can do. If we put our minds to it, it doesn't matter. Like we find ways. And I think that's super cool that these athletes are just, breaking boundaries and hopefully inspiring people to not just reconceptualize what they think about as disabilities, but inspiring kids out there who, I can only imagine how much harder it is for a kid that has a disability, whether it's a wheelchair or crutches or, an impairment like visual impairment or audio impairment, to see and experience and hear like these athletes is really cool.
It's amazing. And the sad part about it is that a lot of times where these athletes end up going out after they get into college, because there's a lot of colleges that has Paralympic sports, but what they end up needing to do afterwards is going overseas. So a lot of the wheelchair basketball team play either in Spain or in Germany or in Italy.
Yeah, see, it's pretty big in Europe, isn't it?
Very big, absolutely. So so that's what they all do. They, in order to be able to make a living of it and to be able to be a professional, they have to go overseas in order to be able to do it. So
yeah, come to your senses, America. You're athletes.
Yeah. It's amazing. It was awe-inspiring to watch, but at the same side, just absolutely wild. Seeing what they can do and how they can handle everything. It's just wild.
Sweet.
Yeah. All right. You have anything else, Leah?
I have one last thing. So
Perfect.
I like all summer long, I've been focusing on just reading screenplays. Like I had a goal of reading a screenplay a week, which I think I've probably done pretty consistently the last 3 months, but I've decided I need to like pump the brakes and probably read like more just like literature. So I just picked up Max Brooks's new book.
Oh,
I'm not sure if you know who Max Brooks is. It is Mel Brooks's son. And he his last novel was World War Z, which was made into a horrible movie. The movie is nothing like the book. If you've not read the book, like do not let the movie dissuade you. The book is outstanding. In fact, he came to SDSU, gosh, like 8 years ago, something like that, to do a book signing. And Shayna Baszler is also a huge Max Brooks fan. So we drove up there because we wanted to get our book signed. We got there like half an hour late. He was already leaving. I forgot my book. And somehow like we convinced him to like sign, because Shayna had him sign on his shirt. I didn't have anything. So I was like, I have a blank check stub. Can you sign the back of it? But yeah, I picked up his new book. It's called Devolution. It's like a fictionalized story about like a Sasquatch massacre.
Oh my.
So I'm only about halfway through and I'm just like devouring this book. It's such a fun and easy read. And with everything like the madness of the world right now, I'm just like, oh, I need fiction books again, like especially ones that are just, wild and swing for the fences. And yeah, he's a fantastic writer. So if you're looking for a good book to escape into that's just off the wall, it's like Max Brooks's Devolution is worth checking out.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's one of the things that I need to remember is that despite with our podcast and thinking of all the things that we need to look into, just to look into something simple like that, to be able to enjoy and to be able to just get lost in.
Yeah, I'm working on trying to like have more downtime where I'm not worried about the dishes or the laundry or all the other things I'm supposed to be doing. So like, hey, it's okay to sit out in the shade for an hour and just read a book. So hoping to make more time for that this fall.
That's awesome. That's something that,
so
I think a lot of people can come.
Whenever I'm done, I'd be happy to pass it your way if you want to read about Sasquatch massacres.
It sounds fun, but I know that I wouldn't read it.
Maybe you'll have to listen to it sometime in the road.
There we go. I can look into that.
You could maybe get into that.
I could get into that.
See what I did there?
Yeah.
Back.
There you go. Tying
we're
it
so
in.
good at this.
We are such professionals.
Hey, I have podcaster on my Twitter profile, so people know.
Oh, good. It's
Kind
now
of a big
official.
Well, that's all I got for Monday night, unless you get some more stuff to throw on the pile.
No, I don't have anything else because I really wanted to talk a little bit about the movie. One other thing that I did want to talk about, and at the end of the show, which I think we're coming to that area.
Feels like it, yeah.
It kind of does. It's a
Out
little
of vodka,
natural.
so
yeah. I don't have any more beer left either.
There goes the last of it. So
yeah, perfect. September 29th is the first day, is our anniversary.
I'm getting a cake.
I know that
like you even had to ask. But
I know.
bitch,
I didn't even
cakes.
have to ask. I was just assuming that you're gonna offer it up.
Yes.
So September 29th is we have one more month, 2 more recordings until we have the year anniversary for I Could Get Into This. By the way, do you like it that I
still have my calendar from last year?
Oh my gosh.
Never changes.
Oh my. I was gonna say, did you like it that I actually remembered the name of our podcast when we were
yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
You are the smarter half of this show. Let's never forget that.
I don't know about that. I've been told that I'm obnoxious by some. No, so
you're
anyway.
The beauty and the brains.
So what I wanted to do is I wanted to bring that up, because I think it's something that we probably both have kind of felt that it was coming, but we didn't really.
Yeah, it was kind of a fuzzy. I'm really bad with anniversaries. Like Dustin, I probably have an anniversary. No idea what it is.
Just ask him. I'm
not
sure
a sentimental person, so but great. Yeah, I'm glad you kept track, buddy.
Perfect. So one of the things that I kind of wanted to do, I really wish that I can do it, is I really wanted to kind of do a best of type of thing for our annual show, or our 1 year anniversary, our anniversarial show. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to try. So I am going to ask, I'll ask you as well as all of our listeners, whoever wants to actually participate. What was your favorite part about the first year of I Could Get Into This? I think there's been a lot of things that we have covered, and one of the things that I was going to do is I was looking to actually convert everything over into saying, hey, here are all the topics that we've covered over
Could
this
you make a
last year.
list?
What's that?
Making like a big list?
Yeah.
I'd be interested to hear if anybody got into something that we talked about because we talked about it. Like,
That
because
would
of
be
you,
great.
I now buy this, listen to this, eat this, drink this.
Right.
Or if we completely burned a bridge and you're like, nope, never gonna do that.
Right, exactly.
Can't get into that.
If there were more people that were trying walnut tacos.
They could put that at the way bottom of the list for sure.
Right, exactly.
Sorry, Phil.
So I wanted to throw that out there because I know that we have a lot of people that are listening. I mean, it seems like we got a lot of people listening. The numbers don't really come across, but I think the numbers might be pretty low because it seems like that there's people all the time that are either saying something or making some kind of mention. And so, if you want, send us a message on Twitter. I see get into this is our Twitter handle. Also, we have an email address. I could get into this at gmail.com. Send us an email or just get a hold of either myself or Leah on Facebook. You probably already are friends anyway. And just say that you heard this cry for help and wanted to say these are the things that we're getting that I've gotten into because of the show or what I thought was the best parts of the show. I had someone that was met up with them a couple weeks ago, and I told them that we were doing a podcast. They're like, oh, didn't realize, it's not on social media much. So I didn't blame him for not knowing about it.
You didn't punch him immediately? No, just kidding.
Not immediately. I punched him afterwards, but
no, they turned around and got him in the back of the head.
No, with John, I don't want to frustrate him at all. He can just downright kill me. I know that. So he used to play rugby. So that's yeah, absolutely. He's a little crazy. But
blows to the head.
Exactly. So he asked me, he's like, what are some of the topics that you guys have covered? And I told him, I was like, when I go through these shows and when I talk through things, honestly, I have no idea what I talked about. I forget it the moment it comes out of my mouth. There's a lot of times when I'm doing my famous editing afterwards, really trying to find the notes for what was talked about. I find myself chuckling every now and then going, oh yeah, shit, I forgot we talked about that. So I was just like, I one of the things that we should do is just get a list together on all the things that we've talked about, because I don't think we've duplicated a couple of things. But
I usually make a little list on my screen during the episode, but that's as far as it gets. So
yeah,
once I say it, it's gone.
Right. Well, and I got all these notes, I always take notes during it, but I don't want to try going through those. So I'm going to go through all the different notes that were listed. For that.
Well, I guess we're going to try and make time for that.
Yeah, well, kind of. So I was going to go through that and try to get some things together. So you might see something that's posted. I don't know.
We should do a collage, because I usually do a screenshot of us, just a candid one during the Zoom call. I should do a screenshot of those, because that'd be funny. I have a good
that'd
one
be hilarious. Yeah. How it started.
What is Leah screenshotting? And she's going to throw it out there in social media, and we're going to look cool.
Right.
Super cool.
We're gonna look as awkward as can be. Yeah. So I just wanted to throw that out there, let people know of it.
Yeah. I said hopefully you get people into something cool. I mean,
yeah. And if not, then let us know
keep
what
listening. We'll probably come up with something eventually that you like.
Right, exactly. You want to talk about beekeeping? How about beekeeping? You like that?
We're just collectors of hobbies and food and drinks and movies and music. So yeah,
absolutely. So all right, well, that's it. That's all I got. All right. Well, you have a good night. You have a good weekend.
Yeah, you too. I mean, hey, we're on the other side of Monday, so it's like all downhill from here.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Oh God, it's all downhill from here.
It's all downhill. It's a race now.
That's right. We'll get through
tomorrow's the last
day of the month.
There's more vodka
in the freezer.
Perfect.
All right.
All right.
Take care, man.
Bye.